We're going to draw a 3D example of the little coupling that we did as an isometric projection as well as an orthographic. There are multiple ways to draw 3D, so we're going to look at a couple of the ways. We're just mainly focusing on looking at the 3D ribbon, which we get by making sure that our settings at 3D modeling. The 3D ribbon has a variety of functions and commands that we can use, so we're going to take a look at a couple of them today. So when we start out here, we want to first make sure our angle is set back to 90, just in case we have to drag or copy a certain direction. It tends to snap to what the O-snap setting is. I'd rather be able to dictate to it where we're going. We're also going to change from the top view to the front view. So there we go. We're on the front view right now, and I'm going to start by drawing a line, and I'm going to click a start point, and I'm going to drag to the right, and I'm going to type in 36, enter. I'm going to go down 32, enter, and back 36, enter. Oops, 36, enter. To get rid of this little XY coordinate, I type in UCSI, and I can click it off. Just gives me a bit more space. I'm going to now draw an arc, and I'm going to go start end radius, and I'm going to start at the top, click at the bottom, and my radius is going to be 16. So that gives me my nice circle edge to it here. I'm now going to select circle, and I want to go from center radius to center diameter. And if I go towards the edge of the arc, it shows me my center point, and my diameter is 16, and enter. Now, these lines aren't joined, they're separate entities. So I'm going to go to modify, and I'm going to go to the join command located here. You can see that it's two arrowheads touching, and I'll just highlight the entire object, and it joins the outside. So I'm going to change this to southwest isometric, our view, so that we can see it sort of from an angled side. And I'm going to go to extrude, and I'm going to click. Well, actually, you know what? Before we do that, it's easier for an old guy like me to see if I go to shades of gray. It's sometimes confusing for people if it's in 2D wireframe, the default. So switching it to shades of gray, I'm going to go to extrude, and I'm going to click on this box we just joined. I'm going to press enter, and I'm going to drag it to the side. Now, the width of this is 40 units. So I type in 40. There we go. Now, that sets up a couple things. It sets up the front of our bracket, but what it also allows me to do is I can use the press pull command, and I can click on the inner circle we made and just push it through our object, and it clears it right out. So there we go. It looks pretty good right there right now. If we now need to cut our middle section out, there's a variety of ways we can do it. But I'm going to try using one of these drawing functions here, a 3D drawing function, and I'm going to go with box. And I'm going to click a point, and I'm going to type D and enter. Oops, sorry. It's already asking me, I guess, forcing me to tell it the size. So going in this direction, I'm going to want to make sure that I go 52 minus 11, which I believe is, oh, that's tough, eh? 52 minus 11 is 41. I sure hope it's 41. My gosh. 41, enter. And then the width of it this way, we want it to be 18. So now that I have that set, I need to place it into our 3D shape. So I'm going to go to move, and I'm going to click on the object and then click on the midpoint that I want to move it from. You may have to set midpoint down here at the bottom in your object snap settings, but just make sure midpoint's on, and I can go from the midpoint of this box to the midpoint of the back. Now, I'm going to click on the outside box, and I'm just going to right click and go isolate and hide. So I'm going to move this box here, and it doesn't matter where my point is as long as it's coming forward at 180 degrees. And I'm going to type 11 and enter. Okay. So now if I right click and unisolate the object and the object isolation, I end up with this right here. Now, I don't know why I didn't add the third dimension into it. That's kind of weird, but it gives us a chance to sort of edit it as we go. As you can see, mine doesn't quite come down far enough and to go through our object. So I did the width and the depth. I forgot about the height, or I didn't do the height. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this object. Actually, you know what? Let's turn this one off again, so I'll isolate it. Good chance to isolate it. I'm going to click on the object, and you can see that it gives us a bunch of different nodes surrounding it. So you could usually click on that and pull. I'm having trouble getting to that, so hold on here. Instead, I'm going to go back to extrude. Oops. Press pull. And I'm going to come down here to the bottom face, and I'm going to click it and drag it down further. Now, the total height would work out great if I remembered it, but I'm just going to drag it down to whatever so it's bigger. I'm going to hit isolate and isolation. Thank goodness, that looks semi-okay. And now using this solid subtract tool, it's a blue square and a white square that intersect. I click on the object I want to keep, and then I press enter. And then I click on what I want gone. And when I hit enter, oh my gosh, look at that. Look at that. So it's coming along as a 3D. As I said, we want to use a variety of tools. So we're going to now just switch over, and I'm going to use the cylinder tool. Now, with the cylinder, I can click a point, and I can make a cylinder shape. So that's what we're going to make for our back there. If you notice, the angle we have set is sort of not really conducive to adding to our coupling, although we could 3D rotate the object quite easy by selecting it and then picking different rotation axes. So that would work out fine. But what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the front view. So we're sort of at the side here. We're going to go back to the back view. Oops, hold on, sorry. Right side view. So we can view the back really well. And I'm going to try to set my geometric center and my center point on. And I'm going to go to cylinder. And it's not really snapping onto my center point. Sometimes if we move it to the side, you could drag it. Oh. I'm going to cheat and draw a line. So I'm going to draw a line from my midpoint to my midpoint. I'm going to go back to my cylinder now. When I snap on the center, it gives me the exact point. But now what it's looking for is either a radius or a dimension. So if I look at the back, it tells me there's a diameter of 18 on this. So if I type D and enter, and then 18 and enter, it gives me the proper diameter. Oh, let me try that again, because some reason it didn't. I either double entered or. So D enter, 18 enter, and then I should be able to drag it out to whatever length that I wish. And my length right now, it looked like it was defaulted to -8 for some reason. The length of this one is 32. So we end up getting our bracket together. Now we notice that there's two different sections to it. So to finish it off, we can join it using the solid union command. And there we go. One of the ways to draw the 3D block. Cool. Let's check out a couple more.